Well, here we are, long-awaited Bunnings ghille suit. Now this will be a two-part video. I'll be able to do the hood first, and then I'll do the top part that covers your shoulders. Now, what I've got from Bunnings is some of this jute. I think it was about roughly $6, and there's 50 meters of it. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to cut it to probably this sort of length, probably 10 of them, and I'm just going to give them a rattle can with some brown and some green. Now it's not totally all Bunnings, but overall it's going to be it's going to be a Bunnings inspired, if you will, ghille suit. As ridiculous as that sounds. Anyway, the other things I've got is this boonie. Got this from Cadet Shop. It's about $16-17. So I'm going to need that as the base for the hood. And the only other, these are the only, this and this is the only two things that I'm adding to the Bunnings ghille. Again from Cadet Shop, I think about $12. Some scrim net, multicam. So the idea is I'm going to tie this to this, just like I've done with the previous hoods. That's my overall base, and then apply this and all this jute and make the hood. Now the only thing I've got to do to this is give it a dusting with different colours so it doesn't look so shiny. And the beauty of this thing, it's all it's all just pulls off, so you can get rid of that frame base. Look like a lion now. There you go. So I think that's going to look pretty good, pretty effective. Now this thing here costs, it's about $25, and I will post in the video, there's about 4, I believe, maybe more, different types of vegetation. Yeah, so I decided to go with this one. Alright, so I'll stop yapping and wasting time, and I'll give this a quick paint, and give this a quick paint, and then I'll come back and we'll start the process. Alright, some more ingredients. I bought this from Bunnings as well. Obviously what it says, jute twine. I'm going to use that to attach the scrim to the boonie. Now this I didn't buy from Bunnings, I bought this from Spotlight. It's like a nylon, so I'll be using that also for tying down all the scrim and jute and blah blah blah. Alright, so awesome zip ties, which you can get from Bunnings. Alright. Now when you get this scrim, it comes in, it's quite a big piece, which is bloody good. for the price. So what I'm going to do is turn it upside down to start with. I'm going to centralize where I want the boonie. Now with this hood, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to cut the front. I'm going to keep the front with a scrim veil. I want to try and be as stealthy as possible with this hood. So I'm going, maybe I'll bring it a little bit further forward. So I'll bring it about there. That means it'll fall down about here to my face. But do I have enough for the back? Probably not. So yeah, I'll go about there. Alright, so it's easier to do it this way. So that way all I can do is tie the scrim to this. It's a lot easier. Alright, just give me a second. Attaching the boonie to the scrim, I'm going to use zip ties, which are from Bunnings. So I've got to make sure it's centered and far enough forward. How much we got on the back there? Yeah, that should be alright. So look for the label. It looks roughly about right. Alright. Zip ties are way easier for this part. Alright, all the zip ties are on. I think there's only a total of like 9 maybe. And then what I like to do, so I can orientate when I put it on, is I'll cut a V in the very center front, so when putting it on, the orientation or how it sits on your head is way easier to find. So now I'll go and whack it on and have a look in the mirror and just see how it sits and see if it's all sitting correctly. The orientation's pretty good. If you don't like how it flares out like this, you can always just cut the brim of the hat, which I still may do. We'll see how I go, but for now I'm just going to leave it. So it's a good length. So I'm going to add a shoulder piece later, like I did with the other ghille. Or I may not, it just depends how the outcome looks. So far it's on track. Something to take note of is with your scrim, make sure you lay it on a large flat surface, because after I attached this, the hat, one side was way out of shape to the other, even though on the table it looked okay, because the scrim's not cut square, so which is not a problem. So what I've done, I've just cut the corners. So yeah, just make sure, check that. Going to give it a light dusting with the khaki and see what the effect is. See if I can just take some of that shine off. without losing the colour of the leaves. Right. Pull these out. So start again. So I've painted these strips with the Rust-Oleum, and what you do is you break up the lines. Give you a quick demo. You can either cut it in half, or just for now I'll just cut this here. You cut everything on an angle, trying to break up the lines a bit. It's all random, like nature. You just pull the ends off. It's easier to pull the ends off before you cut it. And what you do, roll it in a ball. You rough it up, and you get that effect. So you can cut them in half. Like this one here, I've cut it in half. So pull the ends off. You want to vary all the, you don't want to have anything too uniform, you want to break everything up. You know, that looks pretty good. You get enough of those, it's going to have a really good effect. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll cover the hood with all these pieces of scrim and jute, and then we'll go to the next step. I'll show you how to attach the the jute, scrim, whatever. Just make another piece here. Scrunch it up. So what I'll do is grab some of this stuff. This looks like grass, dried grass, dead grass, whatever. Thread it through. I've shown this in all the other ghille videos I've done. Just tie a knot over it. Like that, and then with this stuff you can split it if it's too thick. If you've got nails. And then what you want to do is scrunch it up into a ball. So it just breaks up that line, makes it a little bit more natural looking. So I've done most of it, I've still got shitloads to go. So once I've done that, we'll show you the next step. I'm going to pull this off, the stuff that I require. I've already pulled some off. Where did I put it? Hang on, I'll be back. So this is the stuff I pulled off. It just comes off. It's just like a clip-on, snap-on, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to start attaching this to the hood and see how I go. Hopefully it'll work. Alright, stand by. Alright, so what I've done, I've just cut these off the same fitting and split them up a bit, and then I'm just going to place them around where I'm going to attach them. Just get an idea of orientation where I want to put them. And then see how she goes. So yeah, I just cut them off at the base, and when I put them down I try and put them the right way up, not like this. Try and put them the paint side up. If I had the right colour paint, which I don't, I would have went harder with the paint, but I'm just working with what I got. So if I had the time, I'd go and source the correct colour paint. Anyway, it is what it is. Yeah, so I think that's going to look alright. So I'll attach this the same way I attach the jute, scrim, whatever, and then I'll get back to you. Alright, so that's the finished product. I may add some more on the some more plastic vegetation, but what I'll do is I'll get it out in the bush and I'll just test it first. So I'm just throwing the hood on the ground. It blends in pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now if I wanted to make it even better, I could break off some branches and add some local veg, just to make it that more effective. While I think of it, I want to acknowledge that YouTube gave me a strike, which was totally surprised, considering that there is a disclaimer on every video that I release, explaining what I do. Been doing this for nearly 12 months, and this is the first time this has happened, so it's obviously someone who doesn't look too far into what's actually going on. So it'd be really nice if whoever that person was, just pull your head out of your backside and have a look before you take action. instead of deemed guilty till proven innocent. The other thing that pisses me off is the fact that you don't even ask or raise the dispute before you take action. So I want to thank you for that as well. Well, that's a wrap. That concludes the Bunnings ghille. Probably the last time I do any sort of thing ghille. I think I've pretty much done it to death, so it was enjoyable whilst doing it, and I think it was a good outcome with the Bunnings one, the plastic vegetation. So I hope that was helpful. What else can I add? If you don't want to subscribe, don't subscribe. I'm not trying to be the next YouTube friggin' rock star. I just want to try and help the community grow. So more times it's out there, hopefully it's going to help somebody else. Anyway, enough rambling on with crap. Stay safe and good hunting. I'll see you on the next one.